Beyond ARTV, beyond the reviews, time for Throwback Thursday, something that I have not done in a while, and I apologize for that. It's been probably at least over a month since I did the Pierce the Veil and Yellow Card reviews, but I'm here with one that you guys have really wanted, so I hope that makes up for all the time left in between the Throwback Thursdays. Time for a review of Hybrid Theory, the debut studio album by rock band Linkin Park. This album alone really helped start defining music of the 2000s. What was popular, what was just going with the time, and Linkin Park really have defined their own style with this album and have come back and taken elements of this record, Hybrid Theory, and applied it to every single record they've made since then. Listening to this album in preparation for this review, it's just something that I hadn't listened to as a whole in quite a while, and it brings back all of these old feelings and memories. It's almost like you remember the first time you hear some of these songs, the first time I heard A Place for My Head, the first time I heard the huge radio hit In the End, a song that still to this day never gets old to me. On this record there's so many different styles and uses of piano, keys, everything all over the place. The guitars are loud at times they tone things back, like with My December, which is a really powerful ballad styled song. In the End is one that it has a darker theme to it, and I love the way that they just rotate on vocals between the rapping between Mike Shinoda and then Chester Bennington on the clean vocals and then the screams. I really like the use of this on tracks like By Myself, A Place for My Head, With You, and even Points of Authority. I really like Mike's fast pace rapping and wordplay on that song. Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame and puts your name to shame. Cover up your face, you can't run the race, the pace is too fast, you just won't last. They had a whole different style going on at this time, and while people see Meteor as a very close and the same vein follow-up to Hybrid Theory, I don't see that being the case. I feel like they definitely went for a harder and more streamlined sound on Meteora, and while Meteora is my favorite album by them, I think that Hybrid Theory really played with the experimental side of things. They played with a lot of different styles on this record and just pushed the lines of what you could get away with in this brand new 21st century. Nu metal, alt rock, a little bit of everything. They were heavy at times, they were soft, they had screams, they had rapping, rap rock. They even mentioned this and referenced this in a sample on one of the tracks on this record. I love Cure for the Itch, a mostly instrumental track minus a few samples, letting Mr. Han do his thing on the DJing and samples. And it's Joe Han, but back in this day, I think more so he was known by Mr. Han, his stage name. And I think it's really cool that he had that track pretty much to just do whatever he wanted. They give him a lot of creative freedom. He directs a lot of the band's videos, at least nowadays. And at this point in the band's career, they were definitely still, you could hear a lot more scratching going on and that sort of thing, and I always thought that was awesome. Then you've got the really powerful track Crawling, which was a single, but at the same time, it doesn't even feel like that to me because it's just one of the tracks that just flows so well with the feel of this album. It's almost got this distant feel to it, and it just reminds me of Winter. This whole album really does. High Voltage is a really cool track because I like that they mix it up so much. They've got the guitars going over Mike talking about all these different subjects, stuff that you wouldn't expect people to talk about. He even's mentioning things like a lobotomy and surgery and that type of thing, and then he's going into this whole thing. Chester comes in on the chorus, the whole thing, it was very experimental at the time, I'm sure. I didn't get this album right when it came out. I didn't get it until 2005, but at the time I'm sure that was something that just caught people off guard, and to this day it stands out as one of the best tracks on the record. Lyrically, this album deals with just self-awareness a lot of the time, just not knowing how to deal with people, society, situations, and I think relatability is what really helped push Linkin Park into the forefront here and into the huge rock stars and the huge rock band that they have become now. The album closes out on a really solid note, of course, too, with Pushing Me Away. One Step Closer is probably the first song I ever heard off of Hybrid Theory. I think I heard that on the radio before I even got this album in 2005. One Step Closer, just as soon as I heard those brutal screams coming from Chester, shut up when you're talking to me and all of that, and the whole guitar breakdown with the DJ samples going over it, it just sounded phenomenal to me. And I remember watching the music video for it, and I was like, I got Meteora, but at this point I almost don't even recognize these guys. It sounds so different to me even at that time. And now looking back at it, like I said, Hybrid Theory and Meteora are on two different levels for me, but they're both amazing records. It's still a 5 out of 5 for me to this day, and it's still their most successful album to date, with over 10 million copies being sold in the United States alone. That is absolutely insane. It's certified diamond. Anyways, let me know what you thought of Hybrid Theory in the comment section down below. Beyond ARTV, beyond the reviews. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember to like and hit the subscribe button.